Have you ever noticed that the day ends, but your mind doesn't? Your body comes home. Your phone gets quieter. The world slows down. But inside, something is still running. Like a tab you forgot to close. Like a sentence that never reached a period. You lie down, yet your thoughts keep organizing, reviewing, replaying. What did I miss? What should I have done better? What's waiting for me tomorrow? And the strange part is, nothing is actually happening. Still, your mind refuses to power off. This isn't because you're an overthinker. And it's not because you lack discipline. It's happening because your brain is searching for one specific signal it never received. The signal that says, today is finished. Until your brain hears that message, it stays mentally on duty. In this video, you'll understand why your mind struggles to feel done with the day and how to finally give it the closure it's been looking for. Your mind doesn't measure a day by the clock. It measures it by completion. And completion is not the same as the day ended. You can finish work and still feel unfinished. You can check every task and still feel mentally active. You can lie in bed and still feel like something is pending because your brain is not asking, is it nighttime? It's asking, is there anything left that needs my attention? If the answer is even slightly yes, your mind stays open. Think of your brain like a workspace filled with open folders. Every unresolved moment becomes one more folder. It's the email you didn't send. The conversation you keep replaying. The task you postponed. The expectation you didn't meet. The decision you're still unsure about. Your brain doesn't like open loops, not because it wants to annoy you, but because open loops signal unfinished responsibility. And responsibility keeps the system alert. Long ago, staying mentally engaged meant survival. If something was incomplete, you stayed aware until it was handled. That wiring hasn't changed. What has changed is the number of things that never fully end anymore. Modern days don't have natural stopping points. Work follows you home. Messages keep arriving. Goals expand. Information never stops. Even rest has become something people try to optimize. So instead of reaching a psychological finish line, your brain experiences something closer to a fade-out, and fade-outs do not feel safe to the mind. Your brain relaxes after closure, not exhaustion. This is why you can feel incredibly tired, yet mentally awake. Because tiredness doesn't close loops. Only completion does. There's another subtle process happening too. Throughout the day, your mind tracks not just tasks, but self-evaluation. Tiny internal check-ins like, was that good enough? Did I handle that right? I should have done more? These aren't dramatic thoughts. Most are barely noticeable. But together they create a quiet sense of still in progress. And when the brain senses progress without completion, it refuses to shut the system down. Not out of stress, out of caution. Your mind is trying to prevent tomorrow from becoming harder than today. So it keeps scanning, organizing, rehearsing. It believes it's helping you. But what it's actually doing is carrying today forward. That's why nighttime often becomes the loudest mental space. When external noise fades, unfinished internal signals become easier to hear. So your mind starts searching for resolution, replaying conversations, predicting tomorrow, mentally editing the past, not because something is wrong with you, but because your brain has one priority. Don't leave important things unresolved. Here's the key insight most people miss. Your mind doesn't need a perfect day to relax. It just needs a clear ending. Without an ending, the brain assumes the story is still being written, and stories that feel unfinished demand attention. So your mind stays gently, sometimes frustratingly awake, waiting for the moment it finally understands. The day is complete. If your mind never feels done with the day, it's not a flaw. It's a strategy your brain learned over time. At some point, being mentally thorough helped you. Maybe catching small mistakes protected you. Maybe staying prepared earned you trust. Maybe thinking ahead prevented problems. So your brain quietly adopted a rule: don't disengage too early. Because disengaging too early once meant risk. Over time, that rule stopped being something you chose and became something your mind automatically follows. Now, even when the day is objectively over, your brain hesitates. It wonders, did we overlook anything? Could something come back to bite us tomorrow? Are we truly finished? This hesitation is subtle, but powerful. It keeps a small portion of your attention active just in case. And here's the important part. Your brain doesn't require proof that something is wrong. It only requires the possibility that something might be unfinished. Possibility alone is enough to keep the system running. This is why highly responsible people often struggle the most with shutting off. Your strength, caring, being attentive, wanting to do things well, teaches the brain that staying mentally engaged is the safer option. So it keeps a quiet watch, not in panic, not in chaos, just in a low, steady hum of awareness. The problem is, awareness without an endpoint turns into mental carryover. Instead of ending today, your mind drags pieces of it into tomorrow. Then tomorrow adds more, and slowly, you stop experiencing days as separate chapters and start experiencing them as one continuous stream. No real endings, no full resets, just ongoing mental momentum. This is why true rest can feel unfamiliar, because rest requires something your brain rarely receives: permission to stop tracking. Until your mind knows it is safe to release the day, it keeps holding it lightly but constantly. The good news is this pattern is not permanent. Your brain is not refusing to shut down. It's simply waiting for a clearer signal than the one it's been getting. And once you understand how to provide that signal, your mind no longer has to wonder if the day is finished. It can finally let it go. In the final section, I'll show you exactly how to give your brain the ending it has been searching for, so your nights feel quieter, and your mind stops carrying today into tomorrow. Your mind does not shut down automatically. It shuts down when it receives a clear psychological ending. Most people assume the day ends when they stop working, when they get into bed, when the clock says it's late. But your brain doesn't follow clocks, it follows conclusions. If nothing clearly marks the day as finished, your mind keeps it open just in case something still needs you. So here is the simple shift. Before your day ends, give it a deliberate closing moment. Not long, not complicated, just intentional. Take a few seconds and mentally say, there is nothing more I need to carry from today. Notice the wording. Not everything is perfect. Not I did everything. Just nothing more needs to be carried, because completion is not about perfection. It's about release. When you say this slowly, your brain receives a message it rarely hears. Tracking is no longer required, and something subtle begins to happen. The mental grip softens. The reviewing slows. The urge to replay loses momentum. Your system shifts from monitoring to resting. This works because the brain relaxes when responsibility has a boundary. Without boundaries, the mind assumes its job is never finished. But the moment you create a psychological edge to the day, a clear mental line between today and not today, your brain stops searching for what it might have missed. It no longer needs to keep the file open. Instead of dragging today forward, your mind places it down. And when the brain truly puts a day down, sleep deepens, nights feel quieter, mornings feel cleaner. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because your mind finally experienced an ending. You were never bad at switching off. Your brain was simply waiting for closure. Now you know how to give it. The day doesn't have to fade out anymore. It can finish. And when a day is allowed to finish, your mind remembers how to rest.